Hello everybody, today I'm going to be doing a non-spoiler review of Evil Dead Burn. Now for some context, I've watched all of the Evil Dead movies for the first time within the last year, aside from Evil Dead 1, which I'd seen a few years ago. But yeah, otherwise within the last year, I've watched all the Evil Dead movies for the first time. I'm a big fan of that Raimi trilogy. I think it's a ton of fun. I like but don't love the two modern Evil Dead movies, the 2013 and 2023 films. So I was a little more hesitant going into this one. It took me a while to check it out because I was kind of catching up on some of the movies and a lot going on, but I've finally seen Evil Dead Burn, so in a non-spoiler review, as someone who's a fan of the franchise, but mostly the earlier stuff, let's get into things. And I will say, I'll start off the bat and say for the most part, I really liked this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I do have some criticisms. It's not like it's the most bold or daring or inventive horror film of all time. It is, it definitely takes a little bit to get going, and then, the characters I think are all interesting, but some of them are a little flat at points. Like they're not bad, but it's not like it's this insanely interesting cast of characters. But for the most part, it's I don't really have a ton of negatives, just positives. But it's just a pretty fun horror movie. It's got gnarly kills. It's very bloody. It's very very thrilling from beginning to end. I said it takes a while to get going, but I was worried because this is the longest Evil Dead film by a decent bit, but I never once felt it was dragged down by the runtime. I was pretty engaged the whole time. And the film deals with trauma, not necessarily in the same way as other horror movies are oh, trauma, but it deals with trauma in interesting ways. It kind of tackles concepts like abuse and the way that kind of passes on and the way it gets ignored in order to make things feel more normal. I think it's a very interesting thing to cover. I think the family, like I said, they're not the most cookie cutter things, but whenever they're arguing and debating, I'm actually kind of getting into the family drama, which is pretty cool. And once it goes full Evil Dead, it is just a total blast. It is gnarly, it is intense, it is crazy. It builds up to a pretty good finale. Maybe not a finale that's as insane as some of the last two movies, and that's kind of my thing, where I think the last two Evil Dead movies, Evil Dead 2013, Evil Dead Rise, I think those two films had a worse Act 1 and Act 2 than this movie, but I think this movie probably has the worst Act 3 of that stretch of films. Not that this is bad, but those two movies are totally go nuts in their third act, and this movie in its third act kind of keeps a lot of the pace of the second act, but it's still very, very good, very, very strong. Easily my favorite Evil Dead movie, not directed by Sam Raimi. But if you like these films, and this one's also got some campy humor. It's got one recurring gag that's pretty good. It's got some post-credit scenes I didn't totally need. One I think is better than the other, but it's still fun. But honestly, this is just a pretty good, entertaining, gory, thrilling horror movie. It's not revolutionary by any means. It's not something you're going to be like and be like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this before. This is incredible. But if you like the Evil Dead movies, you're going to like this one. It's pretty good. It's fun. It's got good goriness. It's got interesting themes. And I really do like the main character. It's probably my favorite main Evil Dead character outside of Bruce Campbell. And it took me a little bit to feel that way. At first I was like, really, there's no good main character, but once it kind of got to the second half, it's like, okay, I kind of like this girl. I like what's going on with her. So it's pretty good. But yeah, I enjoyed Evil Dead Burn. It's probably one of the better horror movies of the year. Not a masterpiece by any means, but it's a good film, and if you like Evil Dead, definitely go check it out. I give Evil Dead Burn an 8 out of 10. I hope you guys like the video. Coming sometime in the next few weeks will be reviews for next week. Definitely is X-Men 97 Season 2, and hopefully coming soon are reviews for End of Oak Street next week, I hope, and Batman Cape Crusader Season 2. So until then, I hope you guys like the video, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.